Okay, everybody. I'm losing my shit around here. The shop is total chaos, and I've got somebody looking at me through the window here. As you can see, the office has now become a dumping ground. That's where I sit, but everything else in here is not supposed to be in here, and this is actually nothing compared to what's going on out here. I might have to turn on the radio, or down the radio when I get in here, but anyways. There used to be a wall there. It's now gone. So now all this crap is all over the shop. The 36 is still on the hoist. We can't even lift it, put it down to work on it because all this crap is all over everywhere. It's becoming a dumping ground. There's brackets because we have to, all of this stuff that's up in the mezzanine, that mezzanine is coming down. So now all that stuff that's up there that Mr. Pack Rat over there in the red checkered shirt has been pack ratting for 10, 15, 20 years. All of the extra heavy stuff is up there. Guess who gets to take that down? That would be me. So all of that stuff is coming down. That's why we built all of these, because it has to be able to hold 400 or 500 pounds of stuff. There's a temporary wall until we get the mezzanine taken down. There's nothing but noise and chaos. I'm cleaning up in here constantly. And this is what it looks like from this side. So we've got the wall out. So now we can have the whole shop open. There's our builder. The dream maker today, not the dream killer as usual. And yeah, this is what I've been dealing with for the last couple days, trying to keep this clean. And perfect. See, the yard is full. Can't even see the yard because it's full of crap. The cab over is still, we're still waiting for some parts. We just got the column in. I don't know, let's see if the column is still in there so you guys can see that, because we had a custom made because it was shorter. And it is in there. So this is our custom column. We had to get it, I think it was 8 inches or 6 inches shorter than the standard column. So we waited like, I don't know, I think it was like 6 or 8 weeks for that. But it's in there now, so that's good. What else we got going on? Come on, close. This is the Camaro. It's finally seeing the light of day because Bruce's bay is full. Full. I'll take you in there and show you that. Hopefully he hasn't got his pop music blaring because I hate that crap. Okay, so this is the new, I don't know if you guys have seen this. I can't remember the last video if it was shown, but this is all our body bay now, body and paint. So we've got a new door, so it's nice and warm in here, nice and warm and toasty. So this is the 64 GTO that we took off the frame. The frame is outside, it's been powder coated, and Bruce is doing this first block, first primer and block, right? Yeah. Okay, so that's what he's been working on, as well as the 66 vet. And this is 3 days or something, like crazy. 4 or 5 days that it took to get all the Bondo off there, and it really didn't need all the Bondo that was on there. So it's a fiberglass body, and it looks pretty nice the way it is. So there's that. And he's got the guide coat on there, so he'll find the highs and lows. So then that is the back. That's where the package tray goes? Or no, that's the trunk.
No, that's the trunk.
And then what's the package tray thing? This thing with the ribs?
No, that's the red package trays at the back behind the bumper.
Ah, okay. You can tell I don't know anything about vets. There. So all of these pieces have been done, obviously not that, but all these pieces have been done for the vet. Have we figured out how this removable hardtop goes on yet?
Yeah, it's just in the back of the side.
Okay. So that's what's going on in Bruce's bay. How do you like this bay?
Nice bay. It's nice and warm compared to the other bays.
And quiet.
And quiet.
You don't have to listen to the grinding that goes on with Steve.
All day long.
All day long. Oh my goodness. Is that for the vet too?
Yeah.
Okay. So all of that is done. So back out into the chaos. Let's see what Mr. has to say. What do you got to say for yourself with all this chaos in the shop?
Not on my side.
Not on your side. You're the cause of it. What are you talking about?
I'm outside working in the rain.
I know that, but you're the cause of it.
Well, because we're so busy. Because I don't know how to say no to people.
What did you work on yesterday?
I worked on that. Right here. I put new brake shoes on the front, 4 new wheel cylinders, and new front brake hoses. Because the customer complained the brakes weren't working properly. So that's what I did.
Because there was no brakes.
Well, the brake pedal's hard as a rock. It wasn't working. I mean, if the brake pedal's hard as a rock, there's an issue. Now it stops beautiful. So I did all the brakes on that, so it's done. It's ready to go. And then I worked on the 4x4 over there, the 66.
Yes, you want to go show everybody what you did on that? Before the rain comes again? Because you know it's coming. No. No, it's not coming? Or no, you don't want to show them? Speaking of the noise.
This is that 83 to 87 diff I was telling everybody about. They saw in the last video back on the truck, we put the front one in because we're putting the modern stuff in. So this is the back one I used. You can see I'm starting to put all the new brake linings and spring kits and wheel cylinders in. So we had to weld the perches on for the diff to sit on, then I had to weld shock mounts in for the shocks. But we got it all set in there now, it's all bolted in, new U-bolts, all that kind of stuff. So that's what's going on, and I'm just, once the rain stops, I got to fabricate some brackets for the e-brake cables because they're different than what the 66 would have. So we'll maybe do another video on this and I'll explain it a little more detailed of how to go about doing the rear one, because I showed you guys how to do the front one. So we'll go into it a little bit more, but for right now I just got to keep plugging away. I'm trying to work and trying to clean up mess from those guys, and I don't know where any of my tools are. Well, you're cleaning it up too. But I don't know where any of my tools are, and it's chaos around here, and what a perfect time to start doing this stuff in the middle of winter.
It's not the middle of winter.
Well,
it's just starting. Soon. It's not even winter. It's fall still.
Fucking rain.
There was a guy that wrote in about the diff, and he said, I already talked to you about this, and I wrote back to him, but just for the other viewers that might have the same question, he was saying that he was concerned because we put a lighter duty diff in the back of this truck, and it wouldn't be as good for off-roading and towing and stuff. But we wrote back to him and said that the reason is because this owner is not intending on doing off-roading or towing heavy crap, so that's why. This
is a 3/4 ton diff, but it's not a full floater. Full floater is when you have to pull the axles and everything to get your drums off. This is just a semi one, but his dad passed away, and all his dad ever did with his truck was maybe go up like in the mountain gravelly roads, like not huge off-roading. He wasn't like banging the shit out of it.
He's not doing like rock crawling.
No. So I mean, Peter here just wants to drive it around town, have some fun with it, have good memories of his dad, and maybe take it down the odd trail and drive through the odd little ditch or lake puddle somewhere, you know what I mean? Nothing that you wouldn't even do in a Toyota 4-wheel drive. So I mean, this sucker will be just fine. But I get what the viewer out there is saying. Obviously the diffs that were in here were way bigger and way heavier. But let's face it, anything back in the day is way bigger and way heavier than any of the shit they're making nowadays. You know, but this is going to be quite adequate for what he needs to do, and he's happy with it. And that's it. He's actually said to me now he wants to go ahead and do the paint and the body on this truck. So he said, but don't make it a show truck, Rick. Like, you know, if you can see underneath here, I just cleaned all this up. I did my oven trick, my oven degreaser trick, and then I just wire wheeled it. And I'm using just a spray-on rust paint. And he's happy with that because he said, you know what, I don't need you bringing the gun out and powder coating the frame and, you know, spraying the frame nice with some fancy paint. I don't need that. He goes, is this something that I'm going to drive and have fun with? He goes, Rick, he goes, it's going to be dirty within the first couple weeks.
That's how daddy trucks are supposed to be.
That's right. It's a truck. Hear the key word, people. If you have a vehicle and it's a truck, you hear truck. You know? All I can remember is when I was a kid growing up, every man, or I should say every dad, back then had a truck sitting in the yard. And they never really drove it much. The car was going around getting groceries and going to the movies in, or if you went somewhere, you went in the car. But then all of a sudden one day Dad would say, we're going to the dump today, we gotta load up the truck. And you'd go out there and you'd pump that gas pedal and pull that choke on, you'd fire that son of a bitch up, and it would be sitting there, vroom, 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 and you'd warm it all up, and you'd be hopping up in there because you're a kid on the front seat with your dad, and you go riding down the road like this, you're like, oh, this is awesome, man.
Or better yet, Dad said, get in the truck, we're going to the junkyard.
That's right. That's what a truck is. Now trucks today are just hoity-toity,
they're fancy,
sucker pieces of shit.
Oh,
I need a truck
leather
with 4 doors,
interior.
leather this. Oh, I need to have a TV for my little kiddies. Oh, I need this. Oh my! Hey, we're getting into a rant now.
We are.
getting
We hate
into a
new
rant.
stuff. That's our
Everybody
rants.
wants a rant. I got lots to rant about
Oh,
these
my
days.
goodness.
But I'm afraid I got so many new viewers, they may not be able to handle the swearing.
No, I just put a disclaimer on the front, and if they don't like swearing, they don't watch the video.
Yeah, that's right.
Or they take the time to actually comment and be like, why is every second word fuck?
There's another rant for you. You do that, and then everyone writes into me. Why is every word F this, F that? Oh, by the way, I love your rants, but can you tone the language down? No, fuck. In that case, I'm out of here. Goodbye.
And on that note, that is what's going on at Old Time Garage, and it is a gong show, and I can't wait for this noise and construction to be gone and over and back to normal and back to having the hoist and everything else that's going on. So it's always a good time at Old Time, even when it's chaotic and crappy, but it's not raining. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.